So one of the things we talked about yesterday on our, not yesterday, whatever day ago I saw you, bless you, is that there was safeguards that were created in the Constitution to prevent mob rule. So one of those safeguards was the Electoral College. So I'm going to write at the top, this was created as a safeguard from mob rule, or we know this group called the mobocracy. Do y'all remember who this mobocracy is? What incident have we just experienced with mob rule? Shays Rebellion. And it was really, we know that, I'm just going to put Shays Rebellion. I don't have enough room for Shays fully. We know that this scared a lot of the people that they wanted to come and have a constitutional convention, right? But are they ever going to say that it's Shays? No. But they wanted to make sure that the mob will never be able to elect someone to the presidency that could possibly take down the Constitution and we go back to states' rights. So the Electoral College was a method used by the Founding Fathers to prevent mob rule. And I don't know how many of y'all next year are going to be 18 and able to vote in November. How many of y'all are going to be 18 and able to vote? Hooray. Okay. You wish? Oh gosh. You're like,
I'm crying because I want to vote.
Okay. So most of y'all are going to have to wait till after 3 more years plus, or actually 4 more years plus to vote. But one of the things that will happen is you will go vote for a candidate of your choice. But your vote will actually go into another realm. It goes into the Electoral College, and we're going to talk about how your vote really is indirectly voting for the president, okay? Because the night of the election, they're always looking at these numbers, and they're like, why did they get these numbers, like 38, 55, 29? Why are they counting that? And we're going to talk about it today, how your vote indirectly elects the president. So the Electoral College is a group established by the Constitution that actually elects the president. They will meet after the election day and confirm who the president is. There are 538 electors in the Electoral College, and I'm going to talk about how this number comes around. Each state has the same number of electors as members in Congress. So I'm going to flip out. I'm going to go to something. The last one was Congress. So, I'm pretty sure y'all seen a map like this, but y'all probably never seen these numbers with it, okay? This is the Electoral College and how many representatives are from each state. But we know these numbers represent the people in Congress. So if I look at Texas, Texas has 38 Electoral College members. But how many, this is equated to our Congress members, so how many people do we have in the Senate? No, Congress, okay? How many does every state get in the Senate? 2. So if I take 38 minus 2, these are my senators, how many do I have in the House of Representatives? 36 are in the House, okay? Let's go to this state right here. Oh, okay. Wyoming, poor Wyoming. It has 3 people in the Electoral College. How many does it have in the Senate? 2. Every state gets 2. So they have 2 senators. So how many do they have in the House? What does this number tell me about their population? It's very small. I come to Texas and we have 36. What does that say about Texas population? It's very large. Things are okay. Let's look at California. California has 55. How many do they have in the Senate? 2. So I take 55 minus 2 senators. How many do they have in the House? So what does that tell us about their population? They have a very big population. So do y'all see how the Congress gives us how many people are in the Electoral College? I could go, what's another small state?
Oh God, if you get Texas and California.
Okay, why does Massachusetts what?
Oh, like Massachusetts is smaller, but it already has 11.
It has 11. Its population is very big,
Yes.
right? But Massachusetts, 11 minus 2, that means they only have 9 in the House. There's other states that have a lot, 29 Florida. So 29 minus 2, because that gives me my Senate. How many do they have in the House? 27. And a lot of those people in Florida vote because this is the sunshine state where people go back and get their second win of sunshine because this is a retirement community. Okay? It's the land of the elderly who are getting their second wins. Okay? Okay? But let's look at, do y'all understand these numbers now?
Yes.
Hey, these numbers are very important, and we're going to talk about why they're important. So let's go back to our notes, because I'm going to come back to, wait, before we go into, I'm going to come back to this, okay? Because we're going to get to our numbers. Gotta erase it.
And you have California and Texas on your side. You're doing pretty well.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, example, Texas has how many members in the House? 36. How many do we have in the Senate? 2. So when I add both those numbers together, thus Texas has how many electors? 38. And by the 23rd Amendment, Washington, D.C. has 3 electors. So this is how I got 538. There's 435 electors in the House. There's 100 electors in the Senate. That's 538 plus a 3 for D.C. That gives me 538. So electors are really the people, sorry, this is not going to be very big, in each state that elect the president. Sorry, my community service student last year retyped this up because it was like in a grittier fashion, so I had it electronically, and he just made the space that I had really long, really small, so I'm sorry. Okay? So each party in the state has a set of electors. So Texas has 38 Democratic electors, and they have 38 Republican electors. So what that means is, I know Texas, which one are we primarily? Are we primarily Democratic or Republican? Republican, but they also have 38 Democratic electors ready just in case. Because could Texas become Democratic? Yes, and there's this whole thing. Have you heard that Texas is like a purple state?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
trying to become blue.
Yeah, it's trying to become blue, so when you mix red and blue together, it's purple. So, but do they need to have those Democratic electors ready?
Yes.
And so each party, they will nominate, the Democrats within their party nominate. Do you think they nominate like a new person to be an elector or an older type of person? Older, because do they probably, have they been with the party a long time that they could be trusted? Yes. And so electors are people that have been with the party for a very long time, because after the election in November, they will go vote. And that party is hoping that they will vote along party lines. And when Trump was nominated and then he was confirmed, many Republicans were saying that yes, they're an elector going to the Electoral College, but they weren't going to vote for them. What do you think happened next time? Do you think they were going to be invited back to be an elector? No, they want the most trustworthy people to be electors. So when you vote, when a person goes to vote at the polls for a Democratic or Republican, you go to vote, and I know it says on the polls a presidential name, but you're actually going to vote for an elector of his state and not the president, which I know sounds very confusing, because you will go to the polls and you will get a paper ballot or electronic ballot, and last election it said Hillary and it said Trump, and then there was a third party. And I know people click on those names and they're saying, yes, I'm voting for the president. Well, you're indirectly voting for them because you're actually voting for an elector that will then go elect the president. Okay? So the set of electors who wins in a state is the one who receives the plurality of the vote. So what a plurality of the vote means the most votes. So I'm going to talk about what plurality means. So we're just look at this image. These are counties right here, And I want you to look at this county right here. What dot one? Which one had the preponderance? Red. Which one had the preponderance here? Which one had the preponderance here? How about this one? Okay, so these are the counties voting, but then they look at the state vote, and they're like, plurality is the most. Who got the most votes? Red, so red wins the state. Even though people in that state voted for the Democrat. So this is where people have had issues with the Electoral College, because haven't we had instances where the popular vote is different from the Electoral College vote? Yes, last election, and believe me, that happened in 2000. That actually happened the first time the Electoral College happened. There was issues with the Electoral College. So we're not looking at something that is just out of the ordinary. Many people are saying this is an antiquated system, but again, the system was created to prevent mob rule, and many people are getting upset because it doesn't always confirm the popular vote, and it's because of this win-all system, okay? So, for example, this is the 2000 election. I know y'all know of the 2016 election because y'all were alive through that, but this is the Bush-Gore, okay? Bush-Gore. Bush only got 47.9% of the vote. However, Gore got 48.4%. So who won the popular vote? Gore. But, huh?
I said, but who doesn't love Bush?
Yes. Well, the state of Florida have issues, and we're going to talk about that in the 2000 election with their butterfly voting system. Okay? Yeah, and it got sent to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court then sent it to the state, and the state got to decide. But you have to understand who the governor of that state was. His name was Jeb Bush. And so Jeb Bush has appointed, he's a Republican, he has appointed the person over elections, and that state then goes to him. And the issue was the counties that they had to recount were mostly Democratic. And so if they would have gone on with the recount, that may have been a little bit different. But now we know that Gore won the popular vote, but when Florida sided Republican, that caused Bush to get over that number, 270, and he won the election. So looking at this, it really looks like there's a lot of red, right, versus blue. And so you have to understand that we need to weight these states according to their values. So wait, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to skip through one of them and go to the next one. Okay, this is 2004. But if I were to weight states according to their Electoral College votes, this is how the United States would look. Okay, but look at this. What has happened to California? It's so big because how many votes does it have? 55. What happened to Wyoming?
It's gone.
It's gone because it only has what? 3. Texas, is it still big? Yes. What about Florida? Pretty big. Let's look at New York. New York has a lot of votes, right? 29. Okay, Massachusetts, we know it had 11, right? But it's still big. But this now puts it in proportion, right? Does the blue look bigger?
Yes.
Because the first time we looked at the blue, it didn't look big, but we know those areas where the blue is, it is actually bigger. And some of these red states that look massive on the map actually have a shorter percentage of what their vote is in the Electoral College. Okay, so I'm going to show you, I skipped over one map. This one would have, but here, do y'all still see Florida? Do you see California? And what this is looking at, it's actually looking where the blue is where all the cities are. Major cities are mostly what? Democratic. Okay? In the rural areas, what are they mainly? Republican. And so that shows you the rural city issue here. Okay, so let's go to this. Let's go to our example. The Democrats received 310,000 votes in Texas, and the Republicans received 311,000 votes. Who wins? The Republican elector wins. And how many electors get to go? How many get to cast their vote? What's the number? 38. Even though Democrats get a good percentage, we just don't divide it up like the popular vote for the Electoral College is a win-all system. So, how many electors did Texas have? 38. Who wins? Democrats or Republicans when I look at this number? Republicans. How many did California have? 55. Let's look at these numbers. They have 600,000 and 500,000 Republican. Who wins? Democrats. Pennsylvania has 20. Who wins? 400,000 or 410,000? So the Republicans win. Overall, in this system, who would win? Okay. So, the candidate that receives the majority of the vote, what this means is half plus 1.
Wait,
Yes.
that number for the Democratic popular vote is bigger than the public popular vote.
Huh?
That's the popular vote.
That's a popular vote. I'm looking at this right here. When I total that plus that, that's 58, right?
That's why people have issues.
That's why they won. Yes, this is bigger, right? But when I total this plus that, that gives me 58 Republican, and I only have 55 Democratic. And this is why people get upset. Because when I look at this Democratic vote, they had way more than the Republicans, but who wins in the Electoral College? The Republicans. Do you get it now? Okay.
That's why people go for the big power states when they go for running.
And we're gonna look at that in a second. So we're gonna see, to win the Electoral College, you have to have half plus 1. Did they have half plus 1 here? Yes, they won, despite the popular vote going for the Democrats. So half plus 1 is the majority, 538, divided by 2, that gives me 269 plus 1, 270. So the candidate will try to win the states with the most what? Electoral College votes. How many states do you think it would take to win the Electoral College? 2 states? And we're done?
Well,
maybe
hypothetically, you would
California,
probably want
Texas.
California, Texas,
Texas.
Florida.
How many
New
states
York.
do y'all predict?
I'm gonna say 10.
All right, let's see. We're gonna do this together.
3, 4.
Okay, I need someone to get like a calculator out or an abacus or something. You got it, okay. Okay, so if you were a candidate, what states would you concentrate on? Someone said,
California.
okay, so wait, California is 55. What was the next state? So you got 55, right?
Texas.
Texas, which is what?
38.
So that gives me how much?
93.
93. What's my next big state?
Florida or New York.
Florida and New York, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
do New York, which gives me 29, which should give me,
122.
okay, and then I have Florida, which is 29, that should give me,
151.
what's next, big?
Washington. Wait, no. Illinois.
Pennsylvania is 20, is there anything 20?
Illinois.
Illinois, is there anything bigger than 20?
No.
So Pennsylvania is 20, that gives me,
171.
and then I have Illinois, that's 20, that gives me,
And then Washington.
okay,
No.
wait,
Georgia.
wait,
Yeah, Georgia.
20,
Wait, Ohio.
Ohio, right? 18. And there's a hint about Ohio. However, Ohio votes is usually who wins the election.
Yeah.
So are they
always
gonna
take
go
the
campaign
longest.
there?
Yes.
What is it, 209? So after 18,
Well,
Georgia and,
or Michigan.
okay, so I'm gonna put Georgia first. That is 16.
225.
And then I'm gonna put Michigan, which is 16.
241.
Where do I go next?
Wait, no. North Carolina.
Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina,
I
okay.
know my states.
What does that give us?
256.
Oh, it's so close.
So we're at 15. Is there another?
Oh, there's a New Jersey.
New Jersey. Do y'all see New Jersey's 14? What does that give us?
270.
It would take 11 states to win the Electoral College. But that's counting the big states,
Yeah.
right? All right, it took 11, but some of y'all see the fallacy in this, right? Is California and Texas ever going to be on the same side?
No.
No, because California is mainly what?
Democrat.
Okay, so is Trump going to spend a lot of time in California?
No, they're gonna hate
No, okay. Is Trump going to spend more time in Texas? Okay, but just recently we know Texas is Republican, but last week on Thursday, Do y'all know what was happening in Houston? They were having a town hall. The Democrats came, right? Okay, those Democrats came because they have the potential that Texas could become what?
Blue.
But it could become blue, so did they want to spend some time here? Yes.
I think they said that he's gonna.
The day Texas becomes
more in like the
blue,
big
will
cities.
end.
Yeah, he's gonna come because those big cities in Texas are Democratic. And so Trump will be here campaigning. Okay, so let's look at Florida, or like New York, what is it?
Democrat.
Democrat in Florida, Republican, Pennsylvania. It's actually been one of our swing states.
Yeah, it's always a swing.
This is a swing. Illinois is a swing. Ohio is a swing. Georgia is a swing. Michigan has a swing. Looking at this, if there's swing states, would presidential candidates be spending time here?
Yes.
Yes, and a lot of time will be spent in Ohio. So then now, like you're looking at, well, big states matter. Now you look at these small states, and we know that they were voting Republican.
It's just the Republican.
Well, look at that. This is Republican. That's 10. That's 16. That's 21. If they come together, do they have a lot of power? Yes. I know that when we looked at Wyoming, we made fun of it, saying it only had 3 votes. But is Trump going to spend time here, knowing that this region collectively together is very powerful? Yeah, he's going to get off the tarmac, say, hey, have a speech, and then get back on, right?
Hey, thank you for your
Okay,
support.
thank you for your support. He actually just went to New Mexico.
That's
he
also
was-
kind of a swing state.
Yeah, it is also a swing state, but you're like 5 votes. But guess what he was trying to, who do you think he was trying to appeal to in New Mexico? Hispanics. He's like, I love me some Hispanics, right? Okay. And so he was there trying to appeal to those. Y'all didn't hear all of that stuff? It was just really funny. I was like, you talk about Hispanics like they're a taco or something. I'm recording this and I shouldn't say this stuff. But, okay. But y'all get me. Do y'all understand now where they're going and why they're going? Yes. So these states that you look at that you're like, oh, they only have 20, they have 16, are these powerful states. And this is why when they campaign, they're going to go everywhere, but are they really going to spend a lot of time in the 3s? No. And this is why these presidential candidates get pollsters, that they start taking polls to realize, should Trump waste time in California? They're going to start calling the people and asking them about how they feel about certain subjects. And if they're getting a majority of people not liking his stance, he's not going to spend his money there. Okay? Did y'all hear about him being in the panhandle of Florida and having a rally there? Y'all probably hear about all his rallies, right? That he's going around. He has those rallies because he's looking at these numbers. These numbers helped him become president. Right? So again, how many states did it take? 11, but we understand the fallacy with that they're not all going to be on the same side. So if he carries 11 states, they could win the election. So is it possible that a candidate with the plurality of the votes casted by the voters can still fail to get a majority of the Electoral College? Yes. We saw this happen in 2016. Were y'all watching that one?
Yes.
Okay. We saw this happen in 2016 with Hillary. We saw this happen in 2000 with Al Gore. And there's several other times. Lincoln, Wilson, Truman, Nixon, Kennedy, Garfield, and Cleveland. This all happened too. Okay. And this often happens and when a third party runs. But these presidents who don't win the popular vote, they're given a type of name as a president, which we haven't heard Trump call himself this, but it's called a minority president.
Right.
When they don't win the popular vote, but win the Electoral College, they're called a minority president. And this happens when a third political party runs. And we've seen the Green Party, we've seen all these different people get out there on the bandwagon. There's another issue. What happens when no one receives a majority of the Electoral College vote?
Send it to us.
It gets thrown to the, not the Senate, because everybody's equal there, it gets thrown to the House of Representatives. I can't finish representatives there. And this will happen in 1800 when I get to the election of Jefferson versus Burr. and it'll happen in the Hayes-Tyndall election at the end of Reconstruction. So do y'all now understand the Electoral College and why those people on CNN or Fox News are looking at those numbers at that night? Because those election results are coming in.